Okay, I will send you a YouTube link so that yes, so that you just go there and if there's something you need to go over again and again. So that's why I do the recording. Okay. Okay, there was a training I did yesterday night, so this person now, oh no, this person needs to just a minute. Okay. Thanks. Okay, so how are you today? How's the holiday going? Sorry, can you hear me? Seems you're a bit far away.
Yes, okay.
Okay, so let's run along. Let's see if you can do strictly 2 hours now. Okay, so what's the schema? So this is where we stop. We've been trying to look at so this is where we stopped. Remember, we started FSMO. Do you remember the different type of FSMO? We look at it, what they can do, how their functions can be done. Some in domain naming master, schemas, RID master, infrastructure master, and PDC. So I think you took note the other day. So now we are going to be looking at schemas. So what does schema means? So in your database, schema is very important. Okay, so for example, if you want to, for example, in database, if you want to define a database, okay, have you ever filled an online form before?
Online form.
Please, I need you to. I can't hear you. I need you to.
Online.
Yes.
Online form. I don't understand.
Have you ever filled an online form before? A form online? Have you ever filled any form online before?
Yeah. Yes.
So, what and what do you think they always ask you?
Your name and the likes. The information they ask you. I don't know.
Just give an idea now. Don't tell me you have not filled an online form before.
Your name, then they may ask you your last name, your date of birth.
Card for address, your phone number. Do you understand? There are maybe the purpose why you are filling the form, right? Do you get? Then there will be other fields. So now, when they say name, what are you supposed to? When they say, so usually you see first name, right? Then you see last name. So where you see first name, did you put your surname there? I mean, you are a learned person. You put your first name there. You put Naya there. You won't put Okudu there, right? Do you understand? So you only put your surname is Okudu, right?
Okudo, yes.
Okudo. So you put Okudo where they say last name or surname. So why? That is a schema. So when you see name, surname, you see phone number. Where they say phone number, would you put your home address there?
No.
Exactly. That's a schema. So what you are looking at is, so it defines the how will I put it? The kind of inputs that will be put in that info that will be provided. Do you understand? So also in your ADDS, so in your ADDS2, ADDS schema is the component that defines, it defines the rules and syntax of that database. Do you understand? The rules and the syntax of that ADDS database. So there are a whole lot of, remember your ADDS database are partitioned. Do you know that? Right from the big day one, I've been explaining to you that partition. So that these are different partitions. So if you look at this now, it's saying initials, it's saying home phone number. Can you see it? It's saying business category. It's saying users. So the whole lot that this has defined. Okay, so where you say home phone number, you only put your phone number that you use at home. When it says mobile, you put your mobile phone number, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what your ADDS also does is it uses objects as unit of your storage. Okay, I don't know if you have explained what an object is. So of course, the way it stores it as an object, like a group of information. So that's an object, like a group of information. All right. So then it also defines the relationship among your objects, among your rules, your attributes, and your class. Okay. So now here you say reinforce the concept of the schema defines, reinforce the concept that the schema defines the rules and syntax of the DDS database. So that's I've said. Okay, and also provide the blueprint for the object within it. So optionally, you can demonstrate the Active Directory schema snapping in to depict how the object consists of attributes. So you can also illustrate the hierarchy of objects and the interest. So this is just given. Okay, so it's also saying something there. For example, the parent object for user in organizational person, the parent object in organizational person to person, and then the parent object in person is an object called top pointer. Okay, so let's just file because of our time. All right. So how do you now manage your schema in ADDS? So only members of the schema are group. Only members of the schema admin group in the root domain of the ADDS forest can modify the schema. So if you are not, remember the last time when we created the user. Remember the last time when we created the user? Hello?
Yes, remember.
Hello? When we created a user, there was a guy that
Yes,
joined
yes.
us called a Fosa. So we can decide to make that guy an admin to some certain objects in the group. So for schema, it is when you define someone as an admin in that group. So there's a group called schema group or schema admin group. So if you don't put that user in this group, because this group is in the root domain, if you don't put that user in this group, it cannot modify it. So it is somebody that has that administrative rights that can update schema, that can create new schema, that can rename schema, that can do some other settings. Can you see now? You get the idea? So we will do, like I said, there's still practicals you will do. I just want us to finish this. How will I put it now? Let's finish the English around this so that when I'm saying do this, you already your mind so you are familiar with it. So as you can see the way how your server looks like now. So you can see how the whole thing looks like. So you need to begin to force your mind to let it play out. So ADDS schema does not support deletion. So see now. So it means that once you create a schema, what does that mean?
You can't delete it.
Exactly. So you must know what you are doing. Okay. So change the schema only when necessary because the schema controls the storage of information. Change the schema only when necessary because the schema controls the information. So everything in your server, this thing controls. See, all these are schemas. So look at this particular schema. This schema is called user. This schema here. Yeah. It's
Which
called
one,
user.
sorry?
This
The
is where I
whole.
put red points. This red points now. This one I put.
Okay.
Can you see the red? It's called user.
I-
Okay. So it is when you click here. When you click here, that everyone here came out. Every information here came out. I guess what I'm saying. This one here.
Yes.
This is when you click here. So imagine. So when you look at this, what is this one? What schema is this one?
Subnet.
Subnet. So when you click subnet, what are you going to see?
See all these ones.
You said?
I'll see the things on the screen now. Abi.
No, madam, look at it again. What is here?
User.
Is it highlighted or not?
It is.
So it shows that they click this, they click on this. That's why it's highlighted, right?
Okay.
No, do you agree? Don't just say okay.
Yes, I agree. It's highlighted.
So when it's highlighted, it shows that all the information inside this user are the ones displayed here,
Showing on
right?
the screen.
Do
Yes.
you understand? Do you agree with me?
Yes.
As a user, see, as a user, you will have initials. As a user, you will have phone number, business category, they will categorize you, and some other information about your network address, right? Now, I'm saying that
Yes.
if you come to where we have subnet, or you don't know what a subnet is,
I know.
so if they click on subnet, what do you think will appear here? So I'm asking you a question as somebody that knows what a subnet is. What do you think will appear here? Just give me an idea, it's abstract idea that you think will appear here.
Subnets now. Like 255.255.255.0.
That's not a subnet. That's a subnet mask, madam. That's not a subnet.
No.
What? Well, you know what the subnet is.
I don't know because you just said the word I know is not the subnet.
That's a subnet mask now. Okay, your subnet is, for example, when you're, I don't know, 198.168 dot maybe 55.2. Yeah.
Okay.
You don't know, do you know your category C? Your
Yes, yes. Private
192.168 dot
IP
so
addresses.
let's assume that this complaint has different subnets. You know, that means they will categorize their class C, and let's assume they are using class C. So you'll be seeing something like 198, no, 192 dot
192.168.
168 dot, let's say they
Dot.
are using 55. Yeah. You
Okay.
might now see, you might now see, you might see, okay, maybe slash, okay, let's say dot 0 slash another 192.168.55.0/24. You understand? So you can tell you that, okay, only inside this slash there are siders. Certain number of computers can join. It's like breaking a single network into different networks. You don't know that's what your subnet does. Because you have a CCNA, that's why I'm asking you these questions.
Yes, sir.
I've been at a crime like Paul you did. You understand? It is well. Don't worry. I will explain to you better. So you see now the different subnets. You now see different sub. Okay, let me just show you what I mean so that I will not judge your book by the cover. Yeah.
Okay, the slashes by the side is the subnet now. Abi.
You said?
The slash something by the side, the number by the side is a subnet now.
No, that is called cider. That's a cider. there's subnet and there's subnet mask. Do you understand?
Yes.
What's this one bringing on? Can you see now? Can you see? Hello?
Hello.
Can you see?
Yes.
Can you see now?
Yes.
So can you see those examples I was telling you about? This one's here. So /26, /26, slash. So why? There's this network 192.168.5 has been broken down into 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what is your CIDR 26? Do you know what your CIDR 26 is? What it means to have CIDR 26? How many computers do you have in CIDR 26? Eh?
I'm just saying this for the first time, so I don't know.
Are you serious? Hey, we.
I'm serious. Hello.
Yes.
So please excuse me. I want to. I'll get back to you. I want to use the restroom.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
Like having your laptop inside the toilet.
Hello, Mr. Carter. Can you hear me?
How are
Hello,
you,
Mr.
sir?
Carter. How are you, sir?
I'm trying to be fine.
You might, don't worry, you have a little understanding, don't worry. Okay, so because that lady has some certain level of some IT certification, ni mo ṣe ń bí
Okay.
láwọn question yẹn, mo dey expect pé kó mọ̀, but unfortunately, she dey fall my hand, you know. So which means I might have to now go back and
So the
okay, so
basis.
maybe so busy so that you too can also have. This is what I was trying to let her understand. So thank God that you work in a defined organization. So now in your organization, let's say your office, you will have a network for your office. Let's just assume. Let's forget
Sure.
about other branches now. Let's just forget about other branches. Let's say for your office. So
Okay.
now, so there's what we call an IP address.
Yeah.
By now, you are familiar with an IP address.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The IP are in two types. There is what we call public IP address and private IP address. So public IP address, for example, is the one that I always send to you to connect to your machine, your VM over the internet, right?
Okay.
Yes. So that one can be, of course, the same range, you know, as in there are 4, you see number 1 dot, number 2 dot, number 3 dot, as in 4 digits, dot, right? You know what I'm trying to say here. So now there's also a private IP address. Okay.
Okay.
Now the private IP address can be 192 dot. So this can be example of a private IP address. You understand? This. So, but what I was now asking is that sometimes when a company want to have a network, they can decide to go for a particular IP address. So an IP address with this number would have 256 computers connected to it. 256 computers connected to it. But you know, in your office, you know, you are not up to 256, as in the building where you are working. And then sometimes you might also need to break down those networks so that there won't be too much traffic on the network while they are communicating with each other. I mean, those computers internally now. So the IP address are the IP these computers use internally to talk to themselves. Do you get the idea now? Internally to talk to themselves. Okay. So sometimes
I get that.
okay. So if all your computers in your office they want to talk to another computer in another office, all of them have to communicate to the router, and the router will now give them a public IP to go and talk to. I don't know if you have that understanding.
All right, sir. I think I get that.
Okay. So this is it.
Like say I want to send a mail to you in your office now.
Mm-hmm.
So I will have to, if I send it, that is going to be done on a public IP that will talk to a router that will enable the organization to get it right.
Okay, now let me explain to you. Now, 192 dot. Okay, let me. I wish I can write too. I wish I can write. Okay, so let me say 192. Hope you can see. Dot 168 dot 55 dot. Let's just say 0. This is the network, the name of your network in your office. So all computers we have.
Brother too.
Yes,
Please
sir.
bring down this. You are sharing this. Just bring down this line so that I can see what you wrote.
Okay, you can't see it.
I think there's something. You are sharing. Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, I can see. I think I can see it now. No problem.
Let me write it. So let me write it. So 192 dot 168. Let's say dot 55 dot 0. You can see that it's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So this is the network part. So the network in your office, all of them, all the computer will carry this as their surname. As you understand, all of them, we have this.
Which one are they going to carry? The 192, 168?
192, 168, 55.
Okay.
They will be part of it, all of them, because this is, this 0 shows that this is the name of the network.
Okay.
Do you understand? Do you get? Now, so you have a computer. Let's say there are 50 people working in your office. 50 people. So the first computer will be 192.168.55.1, Abi.
Okay.
Dot 2, Abi.
Okay.
Ifinaya, are you there? Are you back? Hello, Ifi, are you back? She's not back. Okay. So dot 3, right? Shall I get a man?
Okay.
Up to like
50,
dot 100. Let's say you have 100 people. But in this arrangement of an IP, the maximum computer that can be connected is 256. So that means you can have up to dot 256, Abi. Hello.
I'm with you.
So I said the maximum number of computer that can be connected to this network is 256.
How do we determine that?
There is another way of determining this, which is cumbersome. You can only learn that one when we are doing networking. We are not doing networking. I was just trying to explain this subnet. This subnet. That is, you have a network and then you are trying to break down your network.
Okay.
Do you understand? Which I felt she would have the experience, the knowledge before. So, but just understand, when you open your computer, there's a place you open your computer and then you see this as you see it there.
Okay.
There's a place you open your computer. Okay, for example, if I go now and I say window, I say CMD, so I hope you can see my screen.
Yes.
So if I say give me the IP configuration of this computer, if I say give me the IP configuration of this computer, it will give me. Can you see? Can you see what he wrote as my IP? Can you see IP4? IP version 4 address. Can you see it? IP version 4 address. You can see it. See what he gave me. It says 192.168.43. Kilo fún computer mi 82.
82.
Can you see it? Go for computer mi 82. Now, look at this thing called default gateway. Default gateway. He gave my default gateway 201. Can you see it now?
Okay.
But remember, I am connected to my phone, right? For my internet service. Hello.
Hello, Chelsea.
Naya, can you hear me?
Hello.
There's a whole lot of background noise.
Yes, I can. I can hear you.
Okay, so now, Mr. Kaldi, can you understand what I mean by the default? So there's a default gateway. It gives it 201, right?
Okay.
Now, this is what default gateway does. Now, let's assume, like I said, there are 100 people in your office. 100 people in your office. So all your computers, I've told you how it will name your computers. So my own computer will be 82, right? We all work in the same computer. Naya's computer will be 92. Maybe your own is 10. Do you understand? As this the last digit, which is .10. Now there's a router in the office, right? Which you know. So it's the router that will disperse this IP address to all your computers. So the router too will give itself an IP. Are you getting the idea? So the IP the router will give itself is what is called default gateway. You know, it's also a device, but it's not a computer. Do you understand now?
Okay.
Now, if we are back here, so which means the router too will give itself its own IP address. Now, because there are 256 computers that can be added to this network, when all the networks are talking together, okay, imagine all of us are on this call now. We are talking to ourselves. So let us assume we have 250 people talking to ourselves on this call, and none of us is muting. We are not muting. Can we enjoy this call? No. It's going to be chaos. You get? It's going to be chaos. Everybody's talking at the same time. Everybody's talking at the same time. It's going to be chaos. So what we can do is to break down our classes and say, okay, 5 people to this side, another 5 people to that side. So the same thing we do for networks within an office. So we can say, those of you in admin, let's group our computers together. Those of you in finance, group your computer together. Those of you in sales, group your computer together. Those of you in management, group your computer together. Do you understand what I'm trying to say now? So the process of grouping and breaking those computers together, that's where you have your subnet. So you now have to this computer now that runs from 0 to 2256 now, you now break it into different groups. Do you understand? So breaking into different groups is what we call subnet. So that brings us here. Naya, can you hear me? So that brings us here. So which means that,
Yes, sir.
so for example, if you now decide to break, that is where your subnet mask comes in. This is what you were talking about the other time, which is 255, 255. So if you now decide to break your subnet into 4, for example, if you break it into 2, that network, if you break it into 2, you can have 124 computers connected to each subnet. That means you are breaking your network. You are breaking it into 2. Do you understand? Now, remember, when you see /24, look at /24. You're always seeing this. /24 means that the maximum amount of computer that can be connected is 254. But don't forget, in my diagram, I said 256. Remember, that means it remained 2. It remained 2. Yes. So what happened in networking? The remaining 2, one out of these 256 will be used for network part. Another one will be used for broadcast part. I don't know if you have heard of that too. I expect that you have heard of that. So in every network, when you are breaking it down, you must remove 2, one for network part, one for broadcast part. Broadcast means that if you need to send a broadcast message, it will use that number of IP to send it. So you can only connect with 254 minus 2. If you are using it so that's why this one carry /24. Do you understand? Let me go back there again. See, look at your /24. Anytime you see your /24, it means you can have 256 computers connected. So you get the idea now?
256 computers, like 256 PCs.
I mean 254 PCs. Yes, 254 PCs. As in personal computers like laptops and computers can be connected to that network. Anytime you are seeing /24, don't forget, especially for you, Naya, you that you are doing IT, purely IT. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay, so now if you now decide to break your network into 2, if you decide to break your network into 2, that's why you have your /25. So here, half of 256 is this. You understand?
254. Confusing me.
254 rather.
254.
254. You can see the screen now. 254. You know what I mean. So half of this is this. Do you understand? So if you decide to break your network into 4 subnets, do you understand? So that's why that means you have 62 computers.
I don't understand. What do you mean? Sorry. What do you mean half of that is that?
See now, divide this now. What do you get?
Divide
124 by 2 now. What do you get?
You said no, you were saying it's half of 254. That's what you said.
What is half of this? What is half of 254? Hello?
Hello. 127.
Even if it's 127, you have removed what's it called? The network part and the broadcast part that I told you. So it's almost like an half of it. Do you understand? So it's like breaking your network into 4 places.
So you said you move the network and broadcast part. That's 125, not 124.
Okay, one thing is that there's a tedious formula for this thing. There's a tedious formula. Do you want us to go
Okay,
through those
wow.
processes? Because this is not networking. So the idea I want you to understand is that
Okay,
you
so what's the
break,
plan?
he said,
Okay, so what's the plan? What's the goal of this?
the goal of this is for you to understand what subnetting is, that I thought you understood already.
Okay, sir.
Do you get what I'm saying? So
Okay.
when you talk of subnet, I gave you an idea of, for example, if you have this IP address, this network IP address at work, and then they say it's /24. That's the network of a particular company. Do you understand? So what does it mean? It's simply telling you that your /24 from here has the ability to contain 254 computers. Do you get the idea? It's a simple thing that I want you to understand.
Okay.
Do you get? So now, all computers, you can't put 254 computers together on a network. It's going to be chaotic. Everybody is talking to everybody at the same time. What do you get? Noise, right? Do you get? Then it will slow down. You can't be able to process. Remember they are transmitting files and data and all of that. So there will be data loss. So your network will throttle. It will slow down. You will enjoy that network. So what network engineer does is breaking down those networks using a concept called subnet. I was just only trying to explain that subnet to you. So now, when you have a network like this now, you decide to break this into two. Look at this, two subnets. When you break it into two subnets, you can only have 124 computers in each. Do you understand? Let me go back. I don't know any way I can do it. Okay, so this is your network. Okay. So this network can have 254 PCs, right? But originally it's 256. So we have to remove the network part and the broadcast part. I've explained that to you. Now, if you decide to break this network into two, this part can contain 124 PC. This other part can contain 124 PC. So that means you have two departments in your company, right? If you decide to break this network into, you can't break this network into three, but you can break it. If you have three departments, you can't say you want to break into three. The best you can break is to break it into four like this. Are you getting the idea? So let's assume you have three departments.
Please, another question again. If you're into two, it's not 254 pieces now. It's 248 pieces in total.
You are breaking. I didn't get that.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Can you hear me? Okay.
I can hear you now.
Okay. I said if we're breaking it, if we're breaking this network, this 254 into two, it's not going to be 254 in general. Like it's not going to be back to 254. It's 248. That's what I'm trying to ask.
248.
Yes.
Where did you get that one from?
124 plus 124 now.
Madam, please be calming down. There's a formula they use in breaking it down. Okay.
Okay.
There's a formula. Be calming down. This is just a summary of the table. You understand? You can see inside that conversion table. There's a formula they use in breaking it down. I only needed this for you. That's why I just took you here straight. If you are doing pure networking, then you now go and learn about the formula. Do you understand? There's a formula. So what you need to understand now is subnet. So if this is the whole of your network within a company, And let's say this company, this is the network name. This is the network, right? 192.168.55.0/24. It will always have /24 because this is what class is this one?
Well, which one? Sorry.
192.168. What class is 192.168?
It's IP address class C.
Yes.
Class C, sir.
Class C. So what is the maximum number your class C can take?
That's it.
You said?
Hello, sir.
Why are you breaking now? Can you just stay on this call?
Yeah, I'm staying. Hello?
So what's the maximum number this your class C can take?
26.
26. I've been measuring 256 now. Look at it.
256.
56.
256, sir.
So you're just dragging us back, sincerely. Okay, look at your class A, class B. See class A. Look at class A. Your class A can see the number of hosts. See, can take over 2 million computers. Look at it now. That's why large organizations use class A. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So your class A, see, over, this is 134
million.
This is 2 billion concept now. Abi, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. See it now. That class, those class A own. Abi, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 2 billion. See now, 2 billion, 1 billion,
Yes, sir.
5. So smaller organizations prefer to use class C, where the minimum that it can contain is 254. Do you understand?
Yes.
So and you know your network name, your network starts with Z. He said?
I said 256, you mean?
I said the number of maximum computer it can contain is 254. You must have removed your network part and the broadcast part.
Okay.
Do you get? So just understand this concept because it will come up in your networking part when we are doing networking. Do you understand? So I was only trying to let you know that when you have a network like this, the maximum using this IP now, so don't misquote me. 192.168, for example, as it's /24, it can contain 254 computers. Just understand the concept. So, but 254 computers is too much to put them all together in one network, and because there will be so much noise and they'll be jam packing. So you need to break that. You need to break the network. So why you break the network? You can break the network into two. So if you break the network into two, the maximum this side can contain is 124. The maximum this side can contain is 124 because you have removed your networking part and the broadcast part. Do you understand the idea?
Yes, sir.
You cannot, if you can 4. So which means you break like this again. So when you break like this again, the maximum this one can contain is if you divide this into 2, it should be 64, right? But you have 62 here, which is the number of computer, because the remaining 2 means that you remove your networking and your broadcast, right? Go back here. Can you see 62? Do you understand the idea now? Can you see 62? Yes. If you divide 62, so now, so that means, let's say you have 4 departments. So you are saying that 62 computers can be in each of the site. 62 here, 62 here, 62 here. Do you understand? So now, if you want to break it further, you can see that after 4 subnets, which is the next subnet? Look at it. Hello?
Hi. Yes, sir.
After 4 subnets, which one is the next subnet?
8 subnets.
Why don't you have 5, 6, 7?
I don't know. I don't know again.
You said?
They multiplied it by 2 again.
Because there's a formula they use. So that is why, if now let's assume you want to break this network, we are breaking this one into 4. You can't break it into 5. You can't break it into 6. The next one you can break it to is 8. The reason being that this is the formula you use in breaking it. See, after 0, look at this, your subnet mark. After 0, you have dot 128. After 128,
Okay.
you have 192. After 192, you have 244, 224. After that, you have 240. You have 248.
240.
Then you have 252. I think you should understand this better. I don't know, you that you are doing networking now, you should understand this better. So you can see you have, so all those ones I will teach you that one later, because this one is just by the way and is wasting our time for today's class. You understand? Because I expected that you would have known this one. Do you get? So you can see that after the 4 subnet, the next subnet is 8. Can you see? Which can, each subnet within 8 can afford you 30 computers. So if you go back here now, and let's say I decide to draw another network now. Okay, can you see? So it means I've divided it into 4 here, remember. So the next place to divide is 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you see it now? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So each sorry, we contain how many computers? 30. Do you understand? You contain how many computers? 30. So now it means that the network name for this computer will now be 192. Remember, you are broken it into 30. Dot 168.55, which is the network part. Dot. So what was the value of you breaking this network into 30? Let's go back here. Look at the value. Is 244.
224.
I mean 224. Do you get 224? But instead of putting 224, my dear, look at it very well. Instead of putting 224, this is what they do in networking. You now say dot 0, because you are saying that dot 0. Remember, I don't know, you went to the toilet when I was explaining 0, 1, 2, 3. Do you get dot 0 slash, what's in front of 224? Slash what? Hello?
Sorry, what did you say? I didn't hear what you said.
Hey, are you sure you are listening at all?
I'm listening. I just didn't hear what you just said.
What is in front of 224? Slash what?
7.
Slash what?
Slash 27. Slash
So
27.
slash 27. Haven't you seen network address like this? Hello?
I've seen it. I've seen it.
You have seen it. So when you now, from today onward, anytime you see something like this, what's it telling you now? Oh, yeah, I want you to answer smartly. What's it telling you now?
See the address.
Why are you breaking today? Why is your network breaking today? I can't hear you.
Hello? Oh,
Yeah.
what is empty? Hello? I see a class CIP address.
Yes, 1. Respect to what I've taught you today. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello, sir. Hello.
I can hear you now.
Sorry, I had a call. Uh, I said Class C is a Class C IP address
We all know it's a class C.
with a network address of 27. Abi?
It's not 27. It's not called 27.
The subnet of 27
Slash. It's called slash 27.
slash 27.
So when you see slash 27 with this, something that says 192.168.55.0 slash 27, what is it telling you? Because what I've been saying since, what is it telling you? That's what I want to hear. Forget class C.
It's a subnet.
One, in respect to that diagram,
With 30 pieces.
do you understand now? So anytime you see slash 27, what's it telling you? This network address has the ability to contain 30 pieces. And it has been broken into how many parts of how many subnets?
8.
Exactly. So if it is slash 24, what is it saying? I will not switch it back. If it is slash 24, what is it saying? For example,
Slash 24.
yes.
Has been broken down to 6.
Yeah.
Okay, it has a PC of 4 in it.
4 core, 10.
Sorry.
Are you following? Are you following at all this morning? Should I just go to work? I guess you are not
I'll
concentrating.
I'll concentrate now, but I'll wait.
Okay, Naya. Naya,
Yes, sir.
do you understand you have CCN?
I know.
And you know the other man on this call, if I ask him, he will tell me exactly what I'm asking for. And he's an accountant.
Yeah, ask him now.
I should ask him now. I should
Exactly.
ask him now.
I'm still trying to understand all the things you said now.
How can you tell me I understand this? You are even the one to be teaching me.
No, no, I cannot teach you.
Mr. Kayode,
Hello, sir.
okay. Can you tell me anything you understood by what I've done so far? Let me ask you like that.
Okay, from the little I was able to grab, I was able to understand the as in the system in a particular organization and the number like the
Of
one you said, if it
computers.
is of computers in an organization, you spoke about how they connect, they
How they
communicate
talk
with
together
themselves
exactly in a
in
network,
with
right?
with the network, yes, and
Good.
how that if they want to communicate outside, it's not going to take the same format with which they communicated with themselves
In
inside.
fact, I've not even gotten to that outside one. I'm still within the network within an organization. Okay. So Naya,
Okay.
please listen together. Let me go through this over again so that you will get it once and for all. You have an organization. Remember, you are learning about server. And there's no way you can learn about server without networking. You must understand that your server controls your networks or controls your securities, controls your cyber security, controls virtually everything. Do you understand? So now
Yes.
you have a company. Remember Naya Industries, which we have been using as our case study, but there are 100 staffs. Okay, you have 100 staffs. Do you now need? Let me ask you a question. Do you now need to go and deploy this IP address? Do you now need to go and deploy an IP address that will give you this number of computers?
No,
Why?
because it's too much.
and it does not make sense.
Yes.
Do you understand? You are not Microsoft. You are not Google. You
Yeah.
understand? It is company like Microsoft, Google, Apple that use
That use
computers
all
like
this.
this. They have over 1 million staffs all across the world. Coca-Cola.
Yes.
Do you understand? So
Yes,
for your 100 companies, it shows that you are going to use a type C, which is your normal 192.168.55 or whatever it is, .0, right? Do we have
Yes,
that
sir.
agreement? Exactly. So now when you have an IP address that says 192.168, what is the maximum number of hosts that it can has that we have agreed upon?
Sir?
What is the maximum number of hosts or maximum number of computer that it can has that we have agreed upon?
254.
254.
Yeah.
But
Minus
normally it should be
broadcast.
no. Normally it should be 256, right?
Six.
But for every networking, we must remove the networking part and the broadcast part, ABI, which we have
Yeah.
established. So you now have 254 number of computers that can be connected, right?
Yes.
So then the CIDR is called /20 what?
Slash 24.
Shay, you can clap for yourself now. Now, and I told you, because your company is 100 staffs, your company is 100 staffs, and then you now have 8 departments in your company. Eight departments. You cannot put all computers to be talking to each other at the same time. Abi.
Yes.
So because you have 8 computers. I mean, because you have 8 departments. So all departments, all computers within departments, we have to be grouped together under a subnet. So the next thing you need to do is to break your network, which is this one, which is 192.168.55, because you know it's a private IP within the organization. You break it down. So now you have 8 departments. So the best way of breaking it down is to come and use slide .254, because when you use .254, it will break it down to 8 subnets, which is like your 8 departments, and each subnet can contain 30 computers. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
So because it can contain 30 computers, remember that there are some departments that only 2 will be in the department. Only 2 computers will be there.
Yes.
Some will be 10. Some might be 1. Some might be 8. Some might be 15. Some might be 20. But what is the maximum? Let's say this one is 20, 21. But what is the maximum this subnet can take? What is the maximum?
Which one, sorry?
What were you looking at? I've been writing. What is the maximum this subnet, each subnet can take?
Sorry, sir. Which subnet are you talking about? Is it the
My God.
30?
Mr. Kennedy, what is the maximum this subnet can take?
Which of the subnets, sir?
Take.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. Brother Tun. Hello.
Network, or what's going on? People cannot hear me. This is a network.
Hello, Brother Tun. Can you hear me?
Naya, can you hear me?
I can hear you,
Brother
sir.
Tun. Brother Tun.
So I was asking, yes, sir.
I can hear you, but I think I didn't get your question.
Okay. I said your organization has 8 departments.
Okay.
So you have decided to break your network into 8. Like I said,
Okay.
when you are breaking your network, this is the first network. You can't break it. The
Okay.
maximum you can have is 254, which you have established. Naya, right?
Yes, sir.
So if your company has 2 departments and you are just starting, you can break it into 2, right?
Yes.
It can contain is 124. If your company has 4 departments, or let's say 3 departments, what you need to do is to break your subnet, your okay. So if your company, let me ask you, if your company has 5 departments, how many are you going to break this your network into? How many?
You break it. 5.
Again.
Hello. Hello.
How many? How many? Look again.
You break it. If it has 5 subnets.
I did say 5 subnets. If your company has 5 departments, and then you now need to into subnets, how many parts are you going to break it into?
4.
So what happened to the last department? They will not have network.
8.
Madam network engineer.
8. But okay, 8.
But what's your but? What's your but?
The
I want
remaining
to
the
argue.
remaining ones now, what will you now be? Like
They will
who
be
will now
useless.
okay.
It will be there. Convert it to Wi-Fi. Do you understand?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You can convert it to Wi-Fi. Let's say, you see, that is. So if your department is 5, cut it now. You cannot have 5 subnets. After 4, the next subnet is 8.
8.
Do you understand? You cannot have 5 subnets. You cannot have 6 subnets. You cannot have 7 subnets. So that's why I do this diagram. So if you're having 5 departments, HR, finance, sales, marketing, whatever. So it means, but we know that what's the maximum number that each department can contain, because we are broken it into 8. What's the maximum number?
30. Is it 30?
30. Do you understand? So I was now saying that there's some department that you might not have up to 30 staffs, right? You might have 15
Yes.
staffs. You might have
Yes.
8 staffs. You might have 21 staffs. You might have 20 staffs. You might have
Yes.
10 staffs. Even there's some department now only you go there.
Yeah.
Only one person be there. So what happened to the remaining 29? It's useless.
You convert it to
But it's
Wi-Fi.
do you understand? So now what you can now do, you can convert this department, this channel to Wi-Fi, so that this one person, when he's connecting, he only connects via Wi-Fi. You understand what I mean? So which means that this can be your guests. You know what I mean by guests? Anybody visiting your company. Anybody visiting your company. Do you understand the idea? So when people come visit your company and they need to use your network to work, you understand your network. I don't know, Mr. Kaudi, do you understand what I mean? Maybe there are staffs or some other people that too, but they must not be on the main network, because
Yes.
people might want
I
to
get that.
attack. One of the reasons why you break your network is that people attack networks. If they attack your Wi-Fi, what happen? It is only every computer that is on the Wi-Fi that will be attacked. Every other one here cannot be attacked because they are not on the same subnet. Do you understand the idea? Can you see
Yeah.
now? So if you have 5 departments, it means 3 will be useless. Yes, of course, it will be useless because you are
Okay.
still growing. It's giving you rooms to grow. So maybe the following year, when you now have another department, what do? You will go and put it in that empty one. But it's
Yeah.
better than having 2 million users now. You are saying
Yes.
you are using an IP that can contain 2 million. It doesn't make sense. Do you understand? So now all these computers here can communicate together effectively. These ones can communicate together effectively. But imagine if you put all the 100 computers together and they are shouting on each other. Eh? Have you heard of CSCD SME or something.
No.
How can you say no? You have CCNA. I'll continue to hunt you.
Because I
Type
asked
of
you saying,
thing.
I
I'll
told you
continue to
that
hunt
they must
you.
not teach us anything. He doesn't teach me
I'll
anything.
continue to hunt you without CCNA. How can you say you
You
don't
cannot
know
want me. You cannot want
CDSME?
me.
Eh?
I don't
Collision.
know.
Have you heard of collision domain?
No.
Ah, Jesus. Okay, you are just giving me work. Well, hope you understand this concept. Do you understand this concept?
Yes.
Please, do you understand this concept?
Yes.
So if I collect money from you now, I'm
Even
justifying.
even this thing, even when we're doing subnet GI, it
Mm,
was an issue for me. Or at
no
least I
problem.
understand it to an extent.
Do you understand this now, at least to this point?
Yes.
Because of this thing that I'm saying now. Because of this thing that I'm saying now. So if I now ask you, so now we're on users before. If you now click on subnet, what are you now going to see? Oh yeah, answer that question. As somebody that is smart, what are you now
Okay.
going to see? Because that was
Hey.
we are recording this session now. What are you now going to see?
I'll see in network address now. I'll see
Just
subnet. I'll see different subnets.
exactly. You see all these subnet, like you see network address, like you said, /27. You will see, this is .0. You see dot you now begin to see dot because this is what you see basically. You begin to see .128.192. You understand? This is 0. You
You said
see
you
one,
I
two,
was not
eight.
there. You said 0.
I know you were not taught very well. Don't worry, I'll teach you. Don't worry. 192. Can you see 224? 224. 240. 240. No, all these ones are in front too. All these ones are in front here. I'm just, so you understand, /27. /27. I don't spoil my book now. /27. So we see all the 8 network, they are in 8.
Yes,
So
it's
you
subnet.
see 240, 248. You shall see it like that. You see it in this place. You understand? I don't want to mark this place. You see when you click on subnet, so you can say, okay, as a network engineer, now say, okay, these are the subnets they are using in this complaint. Okay, they can even name it. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
No. We don't take for one page since morning, but it's worth it, right?
Yes.
You understand? Okay. Of course, knowledge check. FSMO, implementing GPO. Okay, so now this other part is group policy object. Of course, we've been talking about group policy. Okay.
Yes.
Mr. K.
Yes, sir.
So now the reason why I'm calling you is that thank God that you work in a structured environment and you will have seen one or two things. So now at work, when you log onto your computer, sir, let's say you want to go to the toilet, you log onto your computer, your computer is at lock screen where you now put your password, you will notice that there's a screensaver, right?
Sure.
The same screensaver you're having is the same screensaver the other person is having. Or do they have different screensaver?
No. The same
Everybody
thing.
has screensaver.
Yes.
Okay. So what makes everybody have screensaver in the organization? You understand? What makes everybody, let's assume that in your organization, they say none of you must connect to Wi-Fi. No matter how you try, you see the Wi-Fi, but you don't go connect. What makes everybody not to be? Naya is saying, that's the truth. What makes, yes. You see, if you go back to this, your network here, this your subnet now, you can say 123 that is empty. That 123 that is empty, you can enforce it to be a Wi-Fi. To say anything that must connect to this Wi-Fi must be mobile device. If it's not mobile device, not connect. If a computer is trying to connect, like J, it's not connect. I'm telling you. You understand? Do you get the idea? So
And if you
what?
if you also want it only to be computers to connect, mobile device will not connect.
No, oh God! Now you are learning the job very well. Now I can see. I see you are learning. Do you understand? So now,
Yeah.
what is the technology that is behind those things? You
Good
understand? Like
policy.
good policy. In fact, this is the best thing you can ever do in server that will make you. You see, you know why? You can wake up one day because you're in server and you just gonna you can just log out your boss, you log him out. Your boss not correct. You now running after you. And say, what's going on? Say, hey, sir, just give me a minute. Let me work on this. You show him Pepe. IT people, if they want to show people, you just log them out. Especially if you are toasting one girl in your organization and she's not agreeing. Just say, yeah, I will log you out. So, when you log her out, you always come to your office. This thing, so don't worry, we are working on it. You don't have to just be, with the hands. So good policy helps you to do, the good and the bad and the ugly. You understand?
Okay. Yeah.
So here we are going to be defining group policy. So we have less than 30 minutes for this class. So Biko, yes, sir.
So don't worry, we'll log in every day this week. Don't worry.
Praise God, though. Somebody is about to be serious. Mr. Kawade, you want to say something?
Yes, I said, does that speak to the issue of, at times when you are, especially when you are connected on a particular system, and let's say you are bringing your laptop to now remove the cable of that system and put it back. It's like when you now remove the stuff, it might not work on your system. And when you remove it back to put it back into the original system, it will not still connect it. So it will not still work. Maybe is there a form of security?
No, I need to understand that again. I think you are far away. Are you inside the toilet? It's kind of far away from me.
Blood of Jesus.
He sounded.
What I'm saying is that this group policy,
yes,
does it only speak to the fact that because why I'm asking this question is that I've tried this. There's this time that we needed to remove the port and put it in another system. But
okay,
we discover
your network cable, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We discover it's not working for the new system we brought.
Okay.
And returning it back to the original system.
And it continued to work.
No, it didn't even work. So at the end of the day, we now thought, okay, maybe we now call somebody that those network they have been passworded or there's security on them, such that immediately you remove it from the original and put it's going to lock that particular port. So I'm not saying is this to the same group policy.
Okay, so yes. So group policy can lock your port. Group policy. Ports. This where you put USB port and all of those things. Those are physical ports.
Okay.
Physical ports. There are other software ports too that you must know. Naya, you know other ports.
Sir?
Don't tell me that you're not taught other ports like port 3389, HTTP ports.
I know TCP and TCP IP ports.
TCP IP ports. Which one is TCP IP ports?
TCP IP. That's the only thing I know.
That's only that China. Wow, you have to do a
TCP
refund.
UDP.
You have to do a refund for your CCND. I'm telling you.
GIC has to give me a refund.
Okay, GIC that will give you a refund. Okay,
yes,
so this is
all
it.
the time I wasted.
Okay, so this is it. Do you know that you've tried? Okay, Mr. Kaude, remember that you're always connecting to your VM, right?
Yes.
VM has a port called RDP port. Their software port. Okay. Based on your question now, I will need to take you to. So I guess we are done with this. Now let's now go to ports so that you can understand. So like I said, there are our ports here. I just want to show you there are a lot of ports. See, there are a lot of ports. So when I say software port, this is what I mean by software port. That is, they are port means an entry point where you and I can communicate. You understand? So if somebody is bathing in the bedroom and then I'm now peeping through the bedroom window, that's a port. You get? I can block it. Now. You get? That's the point. So if you have a fence and there's a hole within your fence and then lizard is coming through it or snake is coming through it, what do? You can block it. Do you understand? So your port is an entry. Please, I need us to understand. I need us to get this. Okay. So there are physical ports, like I said. On your computer right away, you have ports where you put your USB, where you put your flash, where you those are also ports. Okay. Now, your server using good, the bad, and the ugly can block your physical port. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Can block your physical port. So when you are on your server and you say, for example, in a bank, all their computers are also connected to this server. So do you know that if somebody working in the bank can bring in flash and plug in flash and copy all the customer information?
Yes.
Hope you know. So that server can block that in as much as a computer is joined to a domain, is joined to a server, is joined to that server. The server, I've told you now, the first day we were talking, how server and computer works. They are like a mother and a child. They cannot do anything.
Without.
When you have a baby, can your baby do anything? A baby is dependent on the mother. It can't do anything.
Yeah.
To eat is the mother. To play is the mother. It's the mother that will say, go and play. It's not say, yeah, come back here. Do you get?
Yeah.
So server would block that physical. It can block physical ports. Okay. So now there's an RDP port that your computer can. Remember when you want to connect to the VM I created for you? Where do you go to on your computer? You type RDP, right?
RDP, yeah.
Your RDP has a port called port 3389. So look at it. All these numbers you are seeing, they are port numbers that can be blocked. So see, 3389 or 3389, Microsoft Terminal Server, officially registered as Windows-based terminal. Is RDP. Do you understand? You can block this port. That means if your server block this port, it means that computer can never do an RDP. Do you understand? Yes. Okay. So there are other ports too. Maybe your DNS port, there are other popular ports, okay? Maybe your SSH ports. So all these numbers you are looking at, they are ports. Do you get? So I think I saw some. Okay, look at this. These are popular ports. File transfer protocol. If you want to transfer one file from one computer to another within the network, all of them are within the network. You use this port 20 or port 21. Then if you want to do what we call SSH, secure shell, you use port 22. For example, you want to do a simple mail transfer protocol to be sending emails up and down. You need to open this port. Do you understand? If you don't open this port, email will not go out. Do you get? So for domain name systems, of course, it is part of what you also learn in your server. This port 53 resolves your IP address into a domain, into a readable domain. Do you understand what I'm saying? Then your hypertext transfer protocol, HTTP, is the protocol that helps you go to a web browser. Do you get? So then we have a whole lot of ports like that. Mr. Kaude, I hope I've been able to answer your question.
Sure.
Do you get? So group policy can block ports. In fact, they do it. So I have a cousin in Zenith Bank, sir. So there was a time he brought his laptop from work home. He now plugged flash drive. So when he plugged the flash drive, the next thing he received was an email. Sanction straight. You understand? He was wondering. I told him that that's work of a server now. They've configured the email. Once there's a trigger. Once you plug it like this, it's something will trigger the network, trigger the server. In fact, even if you are not connected to the internet, you are not connected to the internet, sir, and you do what you are not supposed to do, there's a log, there's another software within your computer that will read everything you have done. It will read it and will now still come and you understand what I mean?
Flash is just for him to do something, as in maybe to do something else, not
so how can you go and
copy
be
information.
doing something else with organizational?
Is it a server? Is it the
It doesn't
server
have to be a server.
administrator?
It doesn't have to be a server administrator now. They've configured the server cannot live where it is now in the server room to be there. But all the computers, all the children, is talking to. It's like a mad technology. It's talking to all the children. You don't understand what the server can do, Sha. But don't worry. You understand? So with the group policy object, so this helps you to do a whole lot. So let's move on, because in the next 15 minutes, let's just see what we can do. Let's define. So we are going to be defining group. So this night, yes, by 8 o'clock, we are going to be doing our hands-on. We start our hands-on approach. Do you get our hands-on? You understand? So that means let me go and off the VM that I was putting off. I put on your VM. So let me off it. So your VM is running already. Let me just stop it. So tonight, so by 8 o'clock, Mr. Kawde, will you have time tonight?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so tonight we are going to be logging into the server, and then those things that we have been training. You can practice and then do one or two things. Okay, so here you are going to be defining GPOs, your group policy object. You implement the scope and inheritance. So what is scope? Scope means the extent at which GPO can go. The inheritance means that there are some things under it, so they can keep inheriting. You understand? For example, if you have already defined a particular group to say, okay, this group, they cannot do RDP. Are you getting me? You say this group, they cannot do RDP. If you now move a user into that group, can the user do RDP?
No.
Why? He has inherited, so you can see now he has inherited whatever group policy is in that group.
Policy.
Do you understand? Then there's what we call a domain-based group policy. We'll learn about that. Then demonstration, like I said, in the evening, we will try and create, configure, and apply GPOs. Then we try and explain GPO storage. Then divide administrative templates, and then do a knowledge check. So you can always look at the environment. This is how your server looks like. It's not friendly. Look at it. It's not friendly. It's not. You can see. You must now. Yes, it's not friendly now. Does it look like your normal computer? It's not friendly. So, but these are things you must learn by force. So you within your group policy, you have your forest, which is always your contoso.com. Then within your forest, you have your domain. So within domain, then there's a particular domain, So you're going to be doing all of this. Don't worry. Just so now, like I said, there was a time I was explaining this different group to you. You can see this one that has signs inside. What did I call it for you that day?
We use different groups now. Yes, sir. The groups, the departments inside the.
So as you can see, this one now is development. This one is domain controllers. This one is IT. This one is managers, marketing. Do you get? This is research. This is sales. So this group now have different group policies that are controlling them. So now, if you look at this diagram, you can see that they open up marketing. See, you can see they open up marketing. So there's a marketing department desktop setting. Can you see? So it is this one that they open here. Do you get? So here we have link group policy inheritance. So here you have default. So we will surely, so whatever this is, it is enabled. Whatever this contoso domain is saying, it is enabled. Whatever this policy is saying is enabled. So let's look at it. So what is good policy? Can you see? Look at the word they use. They say is a powerful administrative tool. Remember your administrative tools. Can you tell me two of your administrative tools?
Administrative tool.
Yes, now ADDS management administrative tools. I remember I taught you, so don't tell me. You want to go and open your book? I know.
I've never opened it. I'm not sure I wrote it. I'm trying to remember.
You are trying to remember. You forgotten window admin center. You forgotten RSAT.
Hey,
You forgotten RSAT.
center.
Eh?
Yes, admin center.
Admin center. Which other one?
Arrow something.
RSAT. Which other one?
Yes, ARSAT. PowerShell.
PowerShell. Which other one? Which other one?
Active Directory.
Active Directory. Okay.
For users and computers.
For users and computer. Exactly. Okay. So now, so this is another administrative tool. Of course, is within your Active Directory. Okay.
Group policy.
So
Okay,
group
this
policy.
group policy is inside the Active Directory.
Yes, inside the Active Directory now. Inside the Active Directory. So it is when you deploy your Active Directory. We have not deployed anything.
Yes.
It was intentional so that you will understand all these concepts. You are still training you. I'm training you on concepts. That's when you now be able to. So group policy is a powerful and sensitive tool. So you can use it to enforce. So what's it used for? Enforce various type of settings to a large number of users and computers. So now you have 1,000 computers in your company. Would you go all around to be changing you copy, you upload what's it called now? The windscreen. I mean the screensaver to 1,000 computers. You alone. You will just kill yourself now. So all you need to do is connect all those computers to a server. They become domain join. They become what?
Domain join.
Exactly.
I don't understand, sir. Say that when you just said it. Sorry.
They become domain joined. Domain joined. Yes. Remember, we talk about your domains.
Yeah.
Your domain. You might have Naya. You might have NayaIndustries.com. That's the domain. So all your computers will now have to be joined to NayaIndustries.com, right?
Yes, sir.
So when a computer is joined to NayaIndustries.com server, that computer is domain joined. So if your computer is not domain joined, no GPO can work on it. It's not in that network.
Okay. How do they now do domain join it? How do you join
You join it. Don't worry now. That one is practical. You do it that one. And now you're asking question I'm expecting you to ask. So you must understand your IP address. All those IP addressing that I was telling you the other time now. You must understand it. So you will do all those domain join. That one is normal. When we start doing, okay, so you can now use it to enforce various type of settings to a large number of users and computers. So typically you use your GPO to. Now what do you use your GPO for? Look at it. How many things?
5?
So you might have to put those things down. They
Yeah,
use it to apply security settings. So that's number one. You can see security is number one.
yes.
Security is number one. Apply security setting. Manage desktop application settings. Deploy application software. Manage folder redirections. Configure network settings. Can you see now?
Yes.
Can you see now? So it's used to do these major things and some other things too. But security setting number one. So your GPO can apply to a point that what people are doing in finance department. Those of you in accounts might not see it. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So how do you implement GPU scopes and processing orders? Okay, so if you look at it too, when you click on, see, let's still follow this. You can see now that, so they've clicked on this. So within this group policy management now, so this policy has been created. Can you see this policy has been created? So here you can define the scope. So where do you want this scope to be? Inside contoso.com, which is the domain. Do you understand? So you apply it, and then what security feature do you want? So look at it. It says setting in this GPO can only apply to the following group users and computers. You can see. So that means you must have groups, you must have users, you must have computers, which I was taking you the other time. So you can see now, if you don't understand this group now, how will you understand GPO? So that's why you need to first of all understand this lesson, this lecture, before we now start doing practical. So which means you need to go and create a group called marketing.
Okay.
This group, when you see somebody's head, you get the idea.
Yes, sir.
So now will affect anybody. You get the idea. And then
Yes, sir.
the GPU, this is linked to the following MMI Windows 10 device. Okay, good. So now there are 3 scopes of your GPUs. Site is everybody within the server. You get the idea now.
Yes,
Domain, everybody within the domain. Just remember that you can have 2, 3 domain controllers. You can have several domains. Have you forgotten?
sir.
If you have 10 companies, your companies will have their own different domains now. nayagroup.com, nayaindustries.com, Naya Clinical staffs. You get, but one server can control all those things. That's why we have forests and domain, organizational units, which we have spoken about. So all these things you are looking at, they are organizational units. All these ones, which is different from the normal folder. Okay. So group policy processing orders. So it can be local GPOs, it can be local GPO, site link GPOs, domain link GPOs, organizational link GPOs, and child OU link GPOs. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. So
Sorry, what's OU, sir?
let's
Sir, please hold
OU is
back.
organizational units. Organizational units. Have you forgotten?
Oh, okay.
All this one. That's why I wrote this sign now. Organizational unit, IT, managers, marketing, research, sales. They are your
So these are the
organizational unit.
examples.
Yeah, these are the examples. The organizational unit. You get. So whatever you want, the policy you want to appear to IT might not appear to managers. The policy that appears to managers might not affect research. Do you understand? Or sales. So that's to that.
The domain controllers under it.
Sorry?
Domain controllers, are they also examples of organizational?
Hello?
Hello? Hello, sir.
What? Yes, I can hear you now.
Domain controllers are they examples of organizational units too?
They are examples of organizational units. It means that these particular machines, the computer inside them, are acting as domain controllers because you have promoted them to be a domain controller. You understand? So if a machine has not been promoted to be a domain controller, other computers cannot join to it.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
100 computers to join to your server. You must promote it to become a domain controller. But
I
when you
must do what?
have different, you must promote it. It's called promote. You promote it to become a domain controller.
How?
You will do that in your practical.
Okay. No, I was just asking. No problem, sir.
I get. You will promote it to be a promotion. You will do that in your practicals. So once you better understanding of what I'm saying, but at least you're having ideas. So that's why
Yes.
I'm asking you to take notes so that when we're now doing practicals, you know, okay, he said this, oh, I said that, and then you're now using your hands to do it. So that now if you see this group, so you can see now, look at the top here.
Mm.
Look at the top here. See, what do you see? Group policy
Group
management.
policy
So you can
management.
see already the way they look, it looks like. So by the time you now open server and you are seeing something like this, you will not be shocked. Why? Because you're already familiar with this interface.
Yes, sir.
You're familiar with this interface. So you know that within your group policy management, you have your forest, you have your domain, and the domain name, which is Contoso, and then all the group policies and all the. So now what I want you to look at now is, can you see this sign here? Yeah?
Yes.
It's the same sign here, right? It's the same sign here, right?
Where?
It's the same sign
Sorry, I
here.
can't see your- focus me.
These ones.
Okay. Yes.
So when you open this policy will affect only those that is in where.
Marketing.
Now this policy is under where?
Contoso.com.
For example, nayaindustries.com. So
Okay.
whatever they put here, who and who will it affect? Let me see how smart you are.
Sorry, sir. Please, I'm sorry. Please come again.
This is a policy here, right?
Okay.
This policy affects who?
It will affect marketing department.
Speak up, please.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I said it will affect marketing department.
Good. This policy here, they are under where?
They are under the contoso.com.
So where do you think this policy will affect?
Contoso folder redirection.
Look at this very well now. This is a policy 1, this is policy 2, this is policy 3. So all this policy, they are under contoso.com. So look at this arrow. What does this arrow mean?
It means all these things are under contoso.com.
Exactly. It's a drop down. See, it's a drop down. Everything here is under Contoso. So all this policy will affect what and what?
Okay, it will affect all these things under the contoso.com.
Development, the controller, IT, managers,
IT,
marketing. It will affect
research.
all of them. Do you understand now? There are 3 policies under this domain. Do you understand?
Yes,
So
sir.
if there's a policy under so look at this drop down again.
Domains.
So look at it. There's a see domains. The first domain is called Contoso,
Yes.
but we are not seeing any other domain here. But there's a site here.
Yes.
But this site is not under domain. This site is under forest.
Yes.
Do you understand? Because it's not, you can see.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's why he's saying that the scope of your
So
GPO can.
Sorry, sir. So under the forest, we have the domains. Then under the
Yes,
domains, we have the contoso.com.
exactly.
Then under the
It's a drop down.
contoso.com, we have
You have
marketing.
all these OUs, organizational units.
Okay.
So this particular policy will affect only people in marketing. If there's anything in IT, it will affect them. But all these 3 will affect anything that is inside. Do you understand? So that is why the scope now is domain scope. These ones are domain scope because they're under this domain, right?
Yes, sir.
So look at the site. You can see that there's a group policy modeling in the site. So any policy here will affect this, what they mean by site here. This policy is now an OU policy C, organizational unit, is within marketing. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
That's why you have to be making sure you are looking. So all these ones now, if you don't see them here now, do you get?
Mm.
All right. So let's end the class. So we start from implementing GPO inheritance, and then we now do practical later. Okay. Were you able to learn something there?
Some things new. Thank you, sir.
How do you mean some things?
Some things, like not something, there are things. Not more
Okay, a whole
than
lot of things. I
one.
need to be sure. So that you don't say I should reform money now. I did not learn anything. I need to be sure now.